the profit experts. Retail loss management, the minute issues to be pondered upon. The retail industry is a very dynamic industry that attracts more retailers into different retail segments. However, as more retailers set up shop, the industry is faced with fresh challenges. The biggest challenge that most retailers face is protection of assets. Assets do not just mean the building or other facilities or amenities at the retail store. For any retail outlet, its inventory forms the major chunk of the assets. It is the inventory that contributes to the retail store's profitability and continued existence. Despite enhanced security measures, shoplifting and organized retail theft are a reality. Each year the retail industry in the United States loses billions of dollars to retail theft. According to industry estimates, in 2009 alone the retail industry lost approximately $40 billion. In an industry where the margins are in the range of 1% or 2%, this actually presents the retailers an opportunity to reduce the shrinkage and protect their margins. For many retailers, retail shrinkage is not a new phenomenon. A large number of retailers in the recent years have taken a wide range of measures to get a grip on the situation. Unfortunately, these measures have met with limited success since most measures are taken without proper planning. This is precisely the reason why most retailers have not been able to resolve the issue of retail theft. A major problem that most retailers face is proving accountability. Quite often they are unable to come up with solid evidence that can prove an instance of retail theft. The biggest challenge facing retailers today is to identify where the problem lies and how best to utilize the company resources to address the issue of retail shrinkage. It is important that retail theft training is provided to the store staff so that there is a greater degree of focus on asset protection. Most retail shrinkage removal techniques fail due to lack of proper facts and data, failure to identify the actual problem, not taking a disciplined approach to resolve the issue of shrinkage, and failure to maintain sustainable shrink reduction practices. However, you can avoid these mistakes and reduce the incidences of retail theft or shrinkage without actually harming your bottom line. This is possible by developing retail shrinkage detection techniques based on proper analysis and retail expertise. Let us understand how this works. When trying to understand the magnitude of the problem, most retailers admit that retail shrinkage is a major issue. However, they do not have any solid data that can actually help assess to what extent this problem has impacted the business. It is important that retailers invest into new processes and the latest systems to understand the actual extent of retail shrinkage. Having an accurate data will enable you to conduct an accurate analysis. Many a times what we think is the core issue may not be the real cause at all when it comes to shrinkage. As a retailer, it is important that you identify and address the core issue so that you will be able to find a measurable and sustainable solution that will work for a long time. Remember, identifying the primary reason is of utmost importance to resolving the issues of retail shrinkage. This will enable you to take organized retail theft prevention measures to tackle the issue. Quite often, retailers address the issue of shrinkage as one major problem. However, to find successful and lasting solutions, it is important that you break the issue into small and manageable components. This will help you identify the shrinkage levels item-wise, category-wise, department-wise, area and region-wise. When you are able to look at the issue analytically, You will be able to put in place organized retail theft protection measures through dedicated team leaders and staff members and monitor their progress. Finally, once you are able to identify the actual cause of the problem, the challenge lies in finding a solution that will address the shrinkage issue for your business successfully. Inventory shrinkage measures to solve it. Retail industry occupies an important place in every country because it caters to the daily needs of customers. However, each year the retail industry faces the problem of shrinkage and they invest large amounts of money to reduce shrinkage. This is the biggest problem of the industry, yet most of them fail to tackle the problem effectively. Retailer tries many methods to address this problem that has an effect on their profit. Sometimes it results in decrease of sales of certain products and sometimes it results in losing their profit margin. So, they conclude that shrinkage is one of the costs of being involved in retail business. When this problem is analyzed to find out the actual measure of shrinkage, the retailer ends up getting a shock at the magnitude of its shrinkage problem. Shrink in the retail industry is calculated by finding the difference between the number of goods the retailer should have and the actual inventory present in the store. We find this problem when the company orders for the products from vendors and it does not have the exact account of the quantity of each item it ordered. This results in incorrect data of the inventory, and later the problem cannot be assessed properly. Inventory shrinkage is the biggest problem faced by retailers. To address this problem, retailers should have accurate data to analyze the problem, find the root causes of the problem, involve employees at all levels, conducted proper research and analysis of the problem, get accurate data. Whenever the retailers accept the delivery of goods from the vendors, they should have a proper account of the exact quantity of each item delivered. This provides an accurate account of the inventory present and helps in the correct analysis of shrinkage. Finding the root cause. Periodic inspections and checks help in finding the root cause of shrinkage in a retail store. Adapting effective software solutions in the right areas can help reduce procurement fraud. In such cases, the retailers can use the help of loss prevention providers who can research and analyze the problem. Involvement of employees. In the case of shrinkage, employees at all levels, right from the top executives to the floor managers and the sales personnel, should be involved and should be made accountable for any discrepancies in inventory. Proper analysis of the problem. If the problem of shrinkage persists in spite of the various measures taken, the retail stores should acquire the help of experienced loss prevention experts to tackle the problem. They conduct a thorough analysis of the problem and arrive at the core of the issue. Once the real problem is identified, the retailers should immediately determine the solutions and implement them. Adopting proper approach. After identifying the problem, the retailers should not make the mistake of addressing it as a single problem. They should divide the problem into manageable levels to solve it effectively. They should assess the loss by items in each individual department, by the different branches in the area and by the category of the items. Using this approach, they can achieve immediate gains. To reduce shrinkage due to procurement fraud, management should assign the job to a dedicated team and make it accountable for the problem. Then the team can focus on the solutions. Tracking the progress. Once the problem of finding solutions to inventory shrinkage is assigned to an efficient team, the retailers should set the time for completion and track progress from time to time. Thus, by identifying the problem of procurement fraud and finding solution by following the above measures, the retailers can effectively control the problem of inventory shrinkage. Combating retail theft with the help of technology. It is bad enough that the retail industry has suffered for well over a year now with decreasing sales figures, mainly due to an increasing level of unemployment, inflation and slow economic growth. What's more is that relatively low figures of sales revenue and net profit continue to be made worse by retail theft, be it shoplifting or employee theft. Retail crimes are crimes of opportunity. When you remove the opportunity, you will remove the possibility. With a bit of thought towards the design of retail stores, owners can dissuade criminals from such theft by simply removing the opportunity and therefore the likelihood of retail theft. In addition to focusing on ways to improve sales through various promotions, the retail industry also needs to focus on redesigning their store layouts. With an effective layout aimed at retail theft prevention, stores can drastically reduce the incidence of theft by as much as 80%. Many stores place high-value items such as coats near the entrance of the store and in shop windows to attract customers. One of the main reasons for this is that suppliers pay a premium rate for a prime location in the store, which is usually close to the entrance/exit. Securing these display units by sealing them off and only allowing customers to view them is a good way can prevent them from being stolen. Customers can always ask for a coat of their preference to try on, and staff can bring them out from an area monitored by closed-circuit television, CCTV. Speaking of which, CCTV is perhaps the ideal solution across the store to prevent theft in general. Yes, technology now makes it possible to sniff out crime in real time, so that criminals can be caught. More importantly, simply looking at a sign that says, "Store under 24/7 CCTV surveillance" is more than likely to discourage shoplifters and employees from stealing. As a matter of fact, it can reduce retail theft by up to 35%. CCTV combined with electronic article surveillance ears tagging systems is widely regarded as a very effective combination to deter casual as well as organized retail theft. If used well together, they can reduce theft by 70%, according to figures from the Retail Consortium. Shoplifters will look to avoid stores that use ears tagging systems in order to prevent embarrassment that arises from an alarm going off as they attempt to leave the store with stolen goods. High-priced items, especially small ones such as watches and jewelry, should be secured in display cabinets as they could easily be picked up and tucked away by shoplifters. They should be secured similarly in warehouses to prevent employee theft. Ensuring that keys to secure cabinets containing high-value items are in the right hands is essential. They should always be with the security officer of the store or the store manager and shouldn't be left lying around the place. Other ways to reduce employee retail theft include strategically positioning staff lockers/toilets away from storage areas in the warehouse, and installing point-of-sales, POS, and exception reporting systems. Lastly, the lighting of the store is quite significant, as is tidiness. A well-organized store is much easier to observe and gives customers a sense of security. It is quite difficult for a shoplifter to operate in a store that is brightly lit. They would much prefer one that has various dim areas. A well-lit store prevents retail theft, as shoplifters would be overwhelmed with the fear of being caught in the act, and that's even before they begin to worry about CCTV. A store that has been designed well is more likely to see retail theft effectively reduced. Thank you for watching. Join us at http://www.theprofitexperts.co.uk.